So recently I made a post about how you should not be using hashtags on Facebook because they are both useless and out of place, and they'll actually reduce your engagement on your post. And oh my goodness, did the comments blow up. I did not realize that people would be so passionate about the subject of hashtags. I was just sharing a simple tip and I just could not believe the reactions. I was told to get with the times. I was told that hashtags work because I use them. I was told all kinds of different things. So I wanted to record this video to talk about exactly why hashtags are useless on Facebook. They're out of place and they actually reduce your engagement and your ability to sell your product. So let's just jump right into it. First of all, I want to acknowledge that there is a lot of bad information out there about Facebook and about marketing your products online in general, social media, all of that. So I'm going to give you a little background of who I am so you know why you can trust me and listen to me. That being said, of course, everybody has to make their own choice. If you want to say, no, I don't believe this, I think you're wrong, I'm going to go off and do my own thing, that's perfectly fine. My role here is I want to help people. I want to teach them strategies that help them actually get the result that they're looking for. So I have been marketing on Facebook since 2010, before there were even hashtags on Facebook. Sometime, I think it was around 2015, 2016, Facebook did release hashtags. And nothing really happened with them. It was very, very quiet. Now, I've been teaching Facebook marketing to small business owners since 2019, and honestly, even before then, but officially since 2019. And I got to tell you guys, my number one goal in my coaching business, in my memberships that I have, is to give strategies that actually work, because nobody has time to do strategies that don't work. If you're going to spend time on your social media, I want you to do things that are going to work. And what does work mean? Work means that when you make a post, you actually get more views, more engagement, and more sales. So I am super critical about everything that experts have to say, everything that Facebook says to do on Facebook. To me, it's not worth doing unless it has proven to be effective. And at the same time, I'm looking out for warning signs of things that are also going to depress your results. So let's look at what actually works versus what actually doesn't work when it comes to Facebook. So this is a difference between just because you can do it doesn't mean you should. So let's talk really quick about what a hashtag is. So a hashtag is not tagging your page. So some people in the comments were a little bit confused about that. So when you use the @ sign and you tag your page, that is perfectly fine. In fact, it's a fantastic strategy to use if you're posting in groups, if you're posting to your personal page. You should be tagging your own page when appropriate. So there's nothing wrong with tagging your page. I'm talking specifically about hashtags, which is the hashtag mark, right? The 2 lines and 2 lines, followed by usually a string of letters or numbers that, have some sort of association. So hashtag soap, hashtag soap making, for example. The purpose of hashtags is to organize information. So everybody who uses the same hashtag, the information associated with that hashtag is all organized together, meaning that in theory, if you click a hashtag, you will see things that have to do with that hashtag. Now, this works really, really well on Instagram. Instagram has taken the entire hashtag concept and just run with it. And it's part of the culture on Instagram. There are a lot of studies on how hashtags work on Instagram. There are a lot of reasons why Instagram hashtags work. And let me tell you exactly why Instagram hashtags work so that you can understand why they are basically useless on Facebook. So on Instagram, there are no groups, right? I can't join a Goldfish Lovers of America group, right? So on Instagram, we use hashtags to kind of create communities, to create categories of subjects, because otherwise it's really, really difficult to do any kind of search. There are no groups to join. There are no chats to join to talk about that particular subject and for people to share their content with each other. So if I love goldfish and I go to Instagram and I look up goldfish lovers of America, hashtag goldfish lovers, hashtag goldfish lovers of Instagram, by searching for that hashtag, I can find my people, right? I can find the people that I want to connect with. And that's why hashtags have worked really, really well on Instagram. On Facebook, we do not have the need to use hashtags to find our people. We can simply find people in groups. So the reason why hashtags are helpful on Instagram is not only does it help categorize that information, but people actively search hashtags, they actively click hashtags, and they actively follow hashtags. It is part of the Instagram culture for people to use the hashtag to navigate around Instagram. Okay, so why are hashtags so useless? Let's keep that in mind, what I just said about Instagram. So why are they so useless on Facebook? So number one, on Facebook, nobody actually clicks a hashtag. I want you to think about that for a minute. I want you to do a poll of your friends and family. When is the last time you saw a post and you intentionally clicked the hashtag? Now, it's not that it never happens. It does happen from time to time. But for the most part, I have done this poll myself. I have talked with my own clients. I have talked with friends and family. I have done the research because there's very little information available on Facebook hashtags out there. Trust me, I check all the time. I am looking forward to the day when hashtags are a smart choice. It's just not right now. So nobody clicks on them. Nobody clicks on them. At best, people ignore them. At best, people ignore them. At worst, people are annoyed by them. So nobody on Facebook is actually clicking hashtags. Number two, nobody is searching for them. So remember I said on Instagram, if I want to try to find goldfish lovers, I do hashtag, goldfish lovers of Instagram, and I can find posts that have to do with goldfish. But on Facebook, nobody is searching. If I'm looking for something relevant to goldfish on Facebook, I'm searching groups. I'm putting just a general post, I'm doing a general search where I just say goldfish, just showed me goldfish. I can look for pictures, I can look for groups, I can look for pages, I can join groups that then say like, hey, here where all the goldfish lovers are. So nobody is actually searching for hashtags because we have alternatives to find our people. Number three, there is no way to actually follow a hashtag. So when if you were to click through a hashtag and say, I go to goldfish lovers, right? Hashtag goldfish lovers or hashtag soap lovers or something like that. If I click on that, I can see the posts that are there, but I can't actually follow the hashtag, which is huge on Instagram. I can follow goldfish lovers of Instagram, and automatically Instagram will start putting posts that have that hashtag into my feed. On Facebook, that is not something that we can do. So we're actually, the three biggest reasons why hashtags work on Facebook are the three biggest reasons why hashtags just are useless on, I say hashtags are good on Instagram, why they are useless on Facebook. You have to have people following them in order for them to be effective. In order for you to get more reach, people need to be following hashtags. In order to get more reach, people need to be searching hashtags. In order to get more reach, people need to be clicking on hashtags. None of those things are happening on Facebook. And if they are, it's at such a minute level, it's not worth it. And I'm going to get into reasons why, okay, maybe it's not effective, but I can still use them. There are still reasons why you don't want to use them. I also want to add that hashtags are also useless on Facebook because if you actually click on a hashtag, the user experience there is terrible. And I may actually do a separate video about this. When you click a hashtag on Instagram, the experience of going through the post from that hashtag, very easy, very effective. It's super easy peasy, right? When I do it on Facebook, it's a mess. Like if I do hashtag soap, it's like Tide soap It's ASMR videos about soap. It's some guy doing his laundry in like Bangladesh. I mean, it's just a mess, the types of posts that are popping up. And I can't scroll through them quickly. Each one takes up the whole entire screen. I am instantly annoyed every time I do click a hashtag because I do research these things, right? I'm always checking, has Facebook improved it? Are there changes? And there are no changes, and it's absolutely a mess. Do it. Hashtag whatever you want. Search that hashtag and you'll see that certain hashtags have more waste than others, but the hashtag is going to tend to have very bad results on Facebook compared to Instagram. And then finally, the reason why they're not effective is we have tested this. We have seen no difference in increased views, increased engagement, or increased sales. So if we're doing something over and over again, and in fact, when you search a hashtag, you'll see posts there that have no likes on them or have very few likes on them. If they worked so great, you should be able to see increase in activity on the posts that are actually using those hashtags. That's pretty much not what we're seeing. And we also cannot find any data out there. Facebook has kind of ignored the hashtag. They brought it up again in like 2020 and they're like, yes, hashtags. And still nobody on Facebook seems to want to use them. They're going to groups, they're checking out images, they are following pages, but they're just not using the hashtags. So there is no data out there as far as how many people are clicking on hashtags, etc. You can find tons of information on that in Instagram because Instagram, it is effective on Instagram, but Facebook is very, very suspiciously quiet about their hashtag data. And I think there's a reason for that. So now those are why hashtags are useless. Here's 5 reasons why you just should not use them. So you may say, well, it's not hurting anything to put them in there. It's easy for me to do my Instagram posts and just include the hashtags over here. It's not really hurting anything. Well, in my opinion, it is hurting things. And we've got to look at the cost benefit, right? So if there's no benefit and there's even a little bit of a cost, which I think it's more than a little bit, then we shouldn't be doing that. If there is a benefit to keeping them off and no benefit to having them on, then we should be keeping them off. So that's how I move forward with things, because I want to see you have fantastic results. And if there's something that is slowing that down and it only takes an extra second to remove that thing that is slowing you down, why not do it? So why you shouldn't use hashtags. The hashtag itself does not reduce engagement. So I want to be very clear about that. The hashtag itself does not reduce engagement. There's nothing with the algorithm. The algorithm's not mad at it. Unlike putting links in your post that will actually cause the algorithm to suppress your post, that is not true of hashtags. So I want to be very, very clear about that. The problem that we have is the psychological results of hashtags. So I want you to think about this for a second. And again, this is something tested, and I might get yelled at in the comments of this video for even saying this. But for example, putting your price, the price of your product, on a post, or even saying call me and your phone number on a post, automatically reduces the engagement and reach of that post because of psychological reasons. You're being very salesy, and people tend to not engage with salesy posts on Facebook. Again, we've tested this over and over and over again. Just keeping the price off increases engagement and increases sales. Okay, so when we're looking at hashtags, we're looking at how the user is perceiving those hashtags on your post. So the first thing is it's just simply out of place on Facebook. It is not part of the Facebook culture. So when people see the hashtags on Facebook posts, especially for those who are not on Instagram, it feels weird. It just doesn't seem like that's where it should be. And people will tend to just flat out ignore them, but also and I mentioned before, they'll either ignore them, but at worst, they'll be annoyed by them. So they're looking at them and they're like, what is this? And they're just scrolling right by. And this is especially true when you have those big blocks of hashtags. On Instagram, you want all 30 of your hashtags, right? On Facebook, a block of 30 hashtags is very, very annoying and will cause people to scroll past your post faster. Second, it looks spammy. Number one, because spammy people use hashtags. So when you see a ton of hashtags, like 30 hashtags on there, it can kind of wave a flag of like saying, hey, look, I look spammy. Part of the reason for this, I think, is Facebook's fault, because they made the hashtags blue. And by making them blue, it looks like just tons and tons of little links. And same with if you put your price on a product, having lots of links, it feels very desperate. It feels like I'm desperate for everybody to see me. I'm desperate for everybody to look. And I have found in my own experience and in the experience of my clients that people just tend to like get turned off by that, and they'll scroll past simply because it feels like, look at me, 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 look at me. I want to make sure everybody sees me, right? And it's like, ew, stop doing that. And it feels very, very spammy. And again, lots of spammers use hashtags, and fortunately, that means they're not getting any more views because of the hashtags. But yeah, it looks very, very spammy, and it can cause your followers to scroll past your post when otherwise they might have been interested in your post. The other thing I want to say on that real quick is that when we're using Facebook, we really need to be developing relationships. We need to act like human beings. We need to stop acting like we are marketing or like we are business people. We need to talk to people. And if you've ever noticed, your friends and family don't use 30 hashtags in their posts. So that's another big like red flag that I'm a business trying to sell you something. The approach that we take and that I teach in my Handmade Sellers Club is to just talk to people. Just talk about your products, what you love about your products, behind the scenes, pictures of your best sellers, let people know what your best sellers are, thank your customers, all of these ways that make you just really cool to your followers, that they're like, man, I like them. The second you put those hashtags in there, it's like breaking that relationship. It's breaking that facade of I'm just a really cool company who is communicating with people to look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. And that can decrease the strength of your relationship with your followers. Next, if they, I want you to hear this one, because nobody is following hashtags, because nobody is searching for hashtags, or we won't say nobody, we'll say almost nobody is following or searching for hashtags. Putting them in your post and having people click them in your post. Let's say they do click them. They're clicking away from you and going to your competitors. So if you're a soap seller and you have hashtag soap maker and somebody sees that in your post and they click it, they're going away from you. Now on Instagram, that's a risk we take because we have the benefit, we have the extra benefit that people are actually searching that hashtag and people are actually following that hashtag. So we might lose some people to them clicking it in our post, but we gain more people by being visible to people that are following and searching for those hashtags. On Facebook, you are losing the person, right? So we're having that little bit of, that's not great, but we're not getting the benefit of other people searching and following those hashtags. So you are sending people away from your post saying, go check out these other people, and you are getting none of the benefits of having the hashtag in the post itself, or very, very tiny bit of the benefits. I would say much fewer benefits than you could potentially gain. And then finally, I'm going to just say that hashtags, I feel, is lazy marketing. I think that a lot of people do not put the time that they need to creating fantastic posts. And often, you don't quite know what to say, right? This is why we do our Prompts for Profits calendar in my Handmade Sellers Club. We tell you exactly what to say on every single post or how to put your post together. But the hashtags, what I see a lot of people do is they barely put any text in their post and they just cram it with hashtags as if the hashtags are what's going to go out there and do your marketing for you. If you take the time to make an appropriate post that is built for engagement on Facebook and for building relationships on Facebook and for increasing desire for your product on Facebook, then you're not going to have to use these hashtags to get more engagement. You're going to be picked up by the algorithm, and the algorithm is going to find just the right people to see what it is you're doing. Could you do this and still use hashtags? Yes. But if you get rid of that crutch of, the hashtags are what's going to do the work, and you actually start doing the work for yourself, you're going to see a big difference. So I am going to end this with saying there are some times that you can use hashtags. Number one, if you are in Facebook groups and your group uses hashtags to organize certain conversations, that is part of that group culture, and it is helpful there. I will use like our own custom hashtags for that sort of thing. So when I'm talking about don't use hashtags, I'm talking about not using those big chunks of hashtags that you're using on Instagram, but you can use them within a group. It makes sense. You can add that, you can use them to add some substance to your post, or even a little bit of comic relief. Like people were doing that to me on the comments of that video. They were saying hashtags. That's funny. You know, I disagree with using hashtags, but it's funny. Hashtag, I'll do what I want. That's fine. The purpose of those hashtags is kind of that at that point following the meme of certain types of hashtags, like hashtag blessed. You know, that's kind of a meme at this point in time. So using those sporadically here and there, it's not going to hurt anything, and it adds to the value. But as long as you understand, people aren't following hashtag blessed. Nobody is following that. Nobody is checking it out. Nobody is scrolling through all those posts. It's not a way to get seen, but it's just kind of a way to play into our overall hashtag culture, the way we do it in a kind of a fun, joking way. You could use hashtags on Reels. We've tested this. We have seen no difference in the distribution of the reel with hashtags and without. However, they seem more at home on Reels, and they don't signal the spammy, look at me me type response. So if you use them there, it's not going to hurt anything, but it doesn't seem to help either. So if you're taking the time to put them there, you can save time by leaving them off. But if they're going there automatically, I wouldn't worry too much about it for Reels. So I'm talking mostly about posts from your page. If you are going to use hashtags, use no more than 3. You can use a hashtag that's like hashtag Handmade Sellers Club, right? If I use that hashtag Handmade Sellers Club, just know that it's actually better to send people to your page versus sending them to a hashtag to see all of your posts. If I go to your page, I can like your page, I can find out more about you, I can go to your website, I can see all your images, I can see all your videos, I can leave a review, I can read reviews. If you're encouraging people to follow to click on your hashtag to see your posts, then you're adding an extra step where you could just send them to your page. So yeah, you could do a hashtag like that and include it in, 1, 2, or 3 hashtags that you include, but I really don't see where the benefit of that is. If they're seeing it on your post, most people are just going to click your page and see everything that you have rather than clicking the hashtag. So yeah, a couple of hashtags I don't think hurts terribly, but definitely stay away from the big blocks of hashtags. Now, what do you do if you're posting to Instagram and it automatically posts over to Facebook, or you're using Meta Business Suite and it's automatically posting to both? First of all, on Instagram, I highly recommend you make your post on. First of all, I want to say that you shouldn't be treating Instagram like Facebook and vice versa. You should be using each one of them to their strengths. I don't love the idea of cross-posting everything that you post. There's culture on Instagram, there's culture on Facebook, and there's some crossover, but it's not 100%. But I don't want to get into that here. If you want to know more about that, let me know. But if you're going to do it, then make your post to Instagram, make your post, and then put your hashtags in the comments. So your post then will copy over to Facebook, and it will leave the hashtags off. So you can use all 30 of your hashtags on Instagram where they are effective, although research is showing they're becoming less and less effective. They're not hurting anything. They're part of the culture. So you put all 30 of them there, and then it doesn't send the hashtags over to Facebook because it's in the comments. It takes literally an extra second to do that. Secondly, you can go on Meta Business Suite, and you can, on Meta Business Suite, you can say, I'm posting this to Facebook and Instagram. You make your post with all of your hashtags, and then you toggle between them and go to Facebook and just delete your hashtags. Like, it literally takes a second to delete the hashtags for Facebook, and you are not going to get the negative effects of having the hashtag there while still getting the positive effects of having them on Instagram. So that's what I have to say about that. Again, feel free to disagree with me, but I'm going to look for receipts on that. I want to see actual proof that hashtags are a vibrant, robust way of getting new business on Facebook without the negative side effects. And so far, this is where we are. The second it changes, I will change my mind. I'm not anti-hashtag. I'm pro Instagram hashtags. I would love to be pro Facebook hashtags, but I am not seeing the evidence. Our testing has not proven it out. And my clients are getting fantastic results without them. So there's really no reason to jump on the hashtag train, and a lot of reasons, I believe, to keep away from them total. If you have any questions about this, comment below. I can make a couple of other little videos showing you guys some things if you would like. And with that, I'm going to sign off. Talk to you later. Still recording.